Hey everybody, welcome to part 6. Oh my god. Yeah, part 6 of this build series on the curved tri-tail tuner. It's time to put a nut on this thing. Part 5 just finished converting to low res. Let me get the upload kicked off. I'll be right back. Okay, part 5's uploading. Time to put a nut on this thing. Let me move it down here a little bit for working on. Jigsaw. Get this thing out of the way. So I'll tangle up the speaker wire break. There we go. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, all my videos are recorded live. They are unscripted and unedited. So here you go, live, unscripted, and unedited. What you see is what you get. Let's see if we can knock this thing off without messing anything up. Come on, baby. That's it. Yeah, we got a little bit. It's still on there. Oh, just a bit of clear coat. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so there you go. We got that little bit came off with it. Other than that, the bottom looks pretty clean. Feels a little rough. Can feel like some glue. No real like wood on the bottom, so that's cool. See how we look here. We've got a bright light. Yeah, okay. There's paint, there's glue. Hasn't torn up the wood any. Feels pretty flat and stuff. Feels pretty good. Okay, cool. Alright, let me get this string out of the way. Get this flattened out. Get like this glue off of here. And we want to try to preserve this as like a shelf for the nut. And we'll get down to nut slot height and things like that. We'll be right back. Okay. Got some 100 grit and a little baby leveling beam. And I'm going to go ahead and clean that up. Be right back. Okay, I didn't hit that up very much. I just took the sanding block here. And let me get the light back up. Let me rest for light. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I just took the sanding block and I folded one edge in order to get me a nice sharp edge here to work with. And you can see the amount of material I took off of it, not really a whole lot. The idea being that what's left there is going to help support the new nut, and I can figure out if I need to take more off to get in order to get the nut slot height correct. And being a Floyd Rose, it's going to stick way back here, so having a longer shelf, including having this extra chunk at the end, so to speak, if the camera will even pick it up. But yeah, where you can see those two blue lines from the original finish, yeah, having that extra, it's basically a buildup of glue and with a little bit of finish on the top of it, so. But in essence, it's a solid surface to which the nut can be mounted, so it forms a good enough nut shelf, so to speak. Next step is, let me dig up the nut, get the locks off it, and see what's going on. I might take that tape off in order to check the nut slot height. Be right back. Okay, let's see what's up with this nut. Hold on, let me try something a little closer up. Okay, that's a little closer up. Yeah, now I can do the remote surgeon thing and almost operate through the phone here. So, yeah, okay. Width-wise, everything's feeling very good. This is going to need some shim probably. Let's see what we got going on sideways here. Now the idea is we want I gotta get the tape out of the way. We want the bottom of the nut to be parallel with the top of the neck and the bottom of the fretboard here. So it's gonna need to come in like just about like that. I won't have my Superman specs on here, but yeah, that looks about level there. And now I'm going to press down on the nut. We'll see where the shelf is. And the shelf is pretty much non-existent. So this is obviously high on the front edge, and it's going to need some shim work back here in a major way, it looks like. Let me start with, I don't know, maybe a mil. See what I get. So, yeah. Let's start with a mil, see what we get. Let's check the height first, though, before we start worrying about the angle. This is the really important part, because it might need to all come down first, in which case we can try to get it more level. Alright, so get my little tool here. I've only used this thing once for what it's really intended for, but I found it's like the perfect tool for doing this. This is a fret pulling guard, and the idea is that you get your fret pullers. I don't even think I own fret pullers. No, I must know. You use your fret nippers, I believe it's fret pullers, as I recall. And you get up under your fret, and you kind of pull it out just a little bit, and then you slip this under the head of the fret. And the idea is that you're supposed to be able to use this to hold down the wood and avoid tear out as you continue to remove the fret. But I've discovered that because they're thin and kind of flexible, they're awesome for setting up a nut, which is exactly at the same height as the fret plane. Yeah, fret plane, here you go. This is a term I came up with myself that I've never heard used, and picture a neck from the side, okay? And, you know, you level your frets and stuff, so the tops, the frets are all level. And if you were to lay a sheet of glass over them, theoretically, it should all, you know, be level. Or if you put a straight edge across it, same idea. So, yeah, the tops of the frets are the fret plane. And you take, like, your straight edge and you, let me get this over this way a little bit more. And you can take your neck, and by wiggling it, you see this has a little relief, and I need to put some truss rod action in it because I like my stuff straight and flat. But yeah, here my fret plane is not actually flat, but it's flat enough for what I'm doing at the moment, because all I'm really worried about right here is this very end of the fret plane, which that's why I've got my fret rocker here. And fret rocker says, yeah, it feels a little high actually. So, grab the old hammer. tap or two. Where'd the old hammer go? There's the old hammer. The old hammer, rubber side. I think so. Alright, where was that? Number 2? Yeah, number 2's a little on the high side. I won't hit the camera here. Hope I don't have to do a spot level on this. Oh no, there we go. There we go, much better. A little bit here. 1 or 2 more whacks. Yeah, that should do. That should do. Okay. So, yeah, these are all pretty much level now. And so now what I can do is I can come in with a tool like this and see, this is kind of like the same trick as where you take half a lead pencil and use it to draw the line on your nut in order to figure out how low your slot should be. But you go like this, you put your nut in, and then you set this down in the groove, and then you set it across these frets, and if it tilts this way towards the nut, then your nut's a little low. And if the center, if you can wiggle the center part and it just wiggles between the nut and only touches at the nut in, like, you know, the 3rd fret or whatever, then your nut's a little on the high side probably, depending on your taste. So here, this is showing this nut is already too low. So this thing is going to need shim across the board. And it's going to need, just by tilting it and feeling it, I'd say it's going to need maybe about at least 1/3 of a mil. Oh, it's going to need more than 1/3 of a mil over here. So yeah, this thing's going to need a fair amount of shim. You can see this thing moving. I mean, if it didn't move, it would go here. I'm doing the same motion right now on this. And these are all level, and this is way not level, so yeah, and yeah, basically what you want to do is you want to, me personally, I like to set the nuts so that the slots are level with the fret plane, but the traditional way to do it is to actually set it a little above, so that, you know, you fret it to wherever and you measure it with a business card, all that crap. So, but yeah, so this is going to need some shim. Time to dig up the bag of shims and figure out what kind of a shape and size of stack is going to work for me. And when shimming this kind of stuff, you got a couple ways you can go. You can either just like shim and glue, and as long as you got, you know, enough solid shim under there, everything should be copacetic. You can like shim the ends in order to get the height, and then screw, or shim and screw and glue. Sometimes that can be an issue with the truss rod hole. If you've got to do a lot of shim and a lot of building up and, like, you know, put more shim on the back and all that kind of stuff, usually it's easier just, you know, build it out of shims and glue and just don't worry. Because see, if you do screws, then you've either got to like make a shim that has holes in it for the screws, or has cutouts that go around the screws, kind of a thing, or you've got to do a shim on this side and a shim on this side that's you know, just small squares in order to raise the ends up and don't interfere with the screws. So if you got to do a fair amount of shim, then oftentimes the easiest way to deal with it is just build up a nice shim and just glue it all in. And then, you know, if later you need to change things, you can just do what I did before and knock the nut out again and put in the next nut. So I think that's going to be the approach, which means it's time to dig up shims. Be back in a bit. This might, let me think. Actually, I was just fishing for the screws, and I went through both the screws bag, and I went through all the unsorted parts bags, which I think there are like 3 or 4 now. I need to sort the parts again. I've got like a box, and then it's got like a dozen gallon-sized Ziplocs in it. And there's like, a Ziploc for tuners, or 2 tuners, and 1 for pickups, 1 for bridges, 1 for nuts. There's 1 for, what else? I'm looking at this guitar. This guitar is backwards. Yeah, tuners, nuts, bridges, strap locks, straps. Don't step on that, baby. The kitten's trying to walk out on the camera boom. And we just caught some shadow there for a minute. Okay, yeah, we're back. Sort of. Let me get my counterweight going again. Little Blackie. You're messing with my program, girl. Look, it's little Blackie. Okay, so, yeah, where are we at? Yeah, so this thing's going to need some shims. Let me go get some shims. I'll be back. Found it. It's like the 1, 2, 3... third bag of parts I went through, found the bag of shims. So, let's see what we got here. Got some nice brass stuff to start with. Yeah, here we go. Here's some brass. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. We got some brass here. No, we can't use the tools to shim. Yeah, more brass if we need it. Thinner aluminum. Thicker aluminum. So yeah, a lot of shim material. Got some stuff. Look, it's already got the holes and everything. If we need like a 10th mil, I Spot. Here, let me pull it this way a little bit, baby. This is Spot, everybody. He's my snow leopard. And this guy, the bench is his bed and the guitar is his pillow. That's the way he likes to roll. But yeah, this one's already got, let me get the neck back in camera here. This one's already got holes and everything for this guy. So, but we need more shit than that. All right, let me start finding some appropriate material, getting it cut to size. Wow, that's a thick one. And yeah, no cutting that with that's 1/8" bar stock or plate stock, whatever you call it. It's a long, flat bar. Got it's 8 foot. There's an 8-foot piece in the corner. I was thinking I could use it for making guitars or something. No, I got that to make straps to bolt the safe to the floor. But it turned out the safe already had internal bolt holes so that you could bolt it directly to the floor from the inside. So pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, that's some more good shim material. Don't need that quite that much though, fortunately. And of course, there's also wood shims, and this is actually not the stuff out of the box of the bag of shims and panels. That's this bag, but actually needs to be replaced. It's getting torn. But yeah, there's all kinds of shim and panel material in here. But this is all the really small stuff. And it's all more or less, in a shim kind of shape and size. So should be pretty good pickings in here in order to find what's required. All right, let me go fish, and I'll be right back. What do you think? Should I put a hold down bar on it? Yeah, I think I'll leave it out just in case. Okay, I just had to show you this. See this shim here? This is like a half of a piece of a popsicle stick. This is off the first guitar I ever bought back in 1988. I bought a Fender acoustic 12 string, and the guy put a humbucker-sized pickup ring over top of the sound hole with a single coil. It was a single coil humbucker ring, and put a single coil in it, and then he put these two popsicle sticks underneath the bottom side, colored up the ends of it with where it didn't, where, you know, the part that showed, that stuck out from the, I wish I had a, say this is your pickup. The pickup sat like here, right? So yeah, so the idea was the pickup plate went over the top of the sound hole, and it just only touched right at the corners, and then the popsicle sticks went underneath, and there's one of the mounting screws for the humbucker, still original, and then he colored the rest up with a Sharpie. I mean, you know Sharpie ink when you see it, man. So yeah, he colored up this all classic luthier stuff here. So he colors up the rest of it with a Sharpie. He does this in the back room while I'm waiting, while I'm buying the guitar. And he colors up the rest of it with a Sharpie, and slaps it in there. And so yeah, it had a single coil. It was a 12-string Fender acoustic with a single coil and a humbucker plate, and the humbucker plate, the corners of it just covered the edge of the sound hole, and so it wouldn't fall in. And then he had these two popsicle sticks he made in order to be little back braces to hold it on. And yeah, I just found one, so I thought I'd relay that little guitar luthier story there. Yeah, that's the first guitar I ever bought. Check out the video on the, oh shoot, what is that? The Fender 12. Yeah, I've still got the neck and such, and so I kept the neck and rebuilt it into another guitar. The body died from water damage, but okay, yeah, I was thinking shim-wise, it's like, this stuff is hard to machine. You gotta like get serious with a metal saw and a grinder and stuff. So that's probably, we don't want to work with that. Thick aluminum suitable. I've got some even slightly thicker stuff around. But you can still cut it with aviation shears. But I was thinking maybe wood would work, but I've only got this one little bit of popsicle stick. But then I saw what it was, and that's why I decided to turn on the camera and tell this little story here. So yeah, a little bit of guitar lutherie there, and it wasn't fancy. I mean, it's like, you know, it was a pickup, it was a ring, it was two popsicle sticks, 4 screws holding the whole thing together, and then the wire just came off, and he soldered it to a jack. He was like, "You sure you want me to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, man, that's all I need. Just give me a jack. You know, I can plug it in. That's good enough for me, because, you know, I'm an engineer. I don't give a shit. Just as long as it works right, you know?" So, yeah. So, that was my first guitar ever. But, yeah, this is a piece off of it. So, let's see how it looks. Come over here in the camera. This just might be, no, that might be a little bit too tall. Yeah, that looks too tall. Where's my tool? Well, that's way too tall, I'm sure. Yeah, oh my god. That is like so tall. I've got like, I probably got a mil or two worth of action at the first fret. See how much this thing will wiggle around. Let me turn it around so it, yeah, but you can see it still wiggles totally. It's sitting on the third. It's got like over a mil clearance at the first, and it's got like Oh shoot, probably 1/2 mil clearance at the second, so that's way too tall. So that is too thick. We're going to want to step down to something thinner. Turn the other way. Yeah, we're going to want to step down to something thinner. What's this kind of material looking like? Well, that's not bad. It's still a little high. What do we got in a brass? This might not be totally flat, but I can kind of press it down a bit. Should be okay over on this end. That looks about the same, actually. It's getting down there, though. Let me fish around a bit. I'll be right back. Okay, thin brass, once I bent it flat with the pliers, it's looking pretty good. We're bottomed out on the second fret now and have just a little clearance at the first fret, so yeah. That's just a smidge above the fret plane. This is going to be the kind of thickness of shim that we want. It's going to be this kind of thing right here. So, let me find an appropriate piece. That's the thick stuff. I got it in like 2 different thicknesses here. That's the same stuff. That's the same stuff. That's too thin. Too small. Yeah, let me fish again for a bit. I'll be right back. Okay, this is the same thickness as that other stuff. I'm thinking this kind of a thing. And CA glue. Let me find the aviation shears. Okay, aviation shears. Gonna trim this puppy up so it's just slightly smaller than the nut, so it'll kind of be slightly hidden on all sides and edges. Be right back. Okay, this looks pretty good. I just eyeballed it. Didn't measure that or anything. Got pretty close on first try. Went first for length and trimmed off all that ugly stuff. I mean, yeah, length this way. And then just got it down to the width of the nut, and that was it. One good straight cut, and then a little clip on the other corner in order to get the thing square. We're good to go. This thing is like nice and flush on these edges. We've got a nice little inset going on here. Everything should look neat. Seems to be all nice and flat. So I'll grab the CA. But we also need to check about our tilt. Come here, you. You go on there. And you go on there. And when we stick you on, which way are you going to want to sit? Okay, can you see that it's moving a little bit? Now, ideally, this is the correct angle here. This is the angle that it wants to sit at, so it needs a little bit in the back. Alright. Maybe something like this. Kind of an idea. Now notice also that there's nothing under here supporting the back of the shim. So, do we put shim back there? Can you see it rocking? Yeah. One possibility is you put some shim under here, and then add some more shim back here in order to get this, or just add more shim underneath the bottom in order to get this thing more level. That might be the way to go. We need a bit of shim under the back under here. A rather significant piece of shim, actually. Where's that big fat stuff? Some bigger, fatter stuff. Actually need to be about there, I think. How flat does this look now? Yeah, that's nice and flush and tight. That's the kind of idea. So, yeah, and you can push that down and wiggle around a little bit. That's not going anywhere. That's all nice and solid. Okay, that's not a trivial amount of shim, actually. Let's see. I've got an idea. Rather unusual idea. I'll be right back. Is that crazy or what? But it actually works. And it looks real. Yeah. I like this idea. I think I'm going to try it. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't work structurally. And cosmetically, it'll make it interesting, to say the least. So, yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. Okay, so I need to, let me see exactly how do I need to do this. I think what I need to do is just kind of lay a line of glue here and here, and actually maybe the thing to do is do this. Put this thing back in, get the nut, get it up so it's all nice and snuggy, all snuggly up there. Come on, I should push it from the center. Give me something to push it with. Oh, my popsicle stick, there you go. Okay, so yeah, you push it from the center. Get it all in there. Very good. It doesn't want to stay. You're being a thing, man. Okay, so, yeah, there it is. Let me get a pencil so that I can sand it off later. And I'm just gonna hoping this works. There's a mark there, and get it all back up in there. There's a mark there. All right, let's see what we got. There's a mark there. Where's the old X-ray specs here? Check it out up close. Oh, that's not a bad mark, actually. Not a bad mark. We'll take it. Like a good layup in golf. We'll take that for sure. Okay, now this one here, not quite all that. Probably going this kind of way. Alright, so that's roughly, that actually looks pretty good. If you can see it, yeah, see, we're about the same. Where's my pencil? We're about the same distance here from this line as we are here. So we've kind of probably got a pretty good mark where we want to go for glue spots. And this video is already running half an hour, so maybe I'll stop it here and we'll actually glue up the nut in the next one, or should I do it now? I got everything here now. We'll glue it up and we'll let it dry while this one uplives. There you go. Okay, see you glue. So we want a line along here, a line along here for the toothpick, and then we want to put the toothpick on, and then put a drop on each end of the toothpick, put a line here and a line here, and then put the brass over the toothpick, and then come back in with like fret nippers and trim off the end of the toothpick. And that's the battle plan. Cross your fingers. Here we go. Live and unscripted. Recorded. Live and unscripted. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, because it's not like I'm going to edit it out or do anything like that. And this thing's stuck, man. Oh, God. Just what we need. Okay, yeah, see? Live and unscripted. So, yeah. I shouldn't do it this way, should I? Oh, hell no. I have visions of super glue all over the guitar already. No, we're closing that back up. Let me get this cap going. I need another pair of pliers. Yeah, give me a sec here, folks. I'll be right back. Okay. 2 pairs of pliers and super glue's open. Not clogged. Here we go. No falling off guitar. Let me move the table over a little. There we go. Guitar won't fall. Work area centered. Where you go? No. Don't walk out on the beam for the camera. Come here. You want to be in the shot for a second? Look, everybody, it's little Blackie. No, don't peel up the entire padding. There you go, baby. She's my littlest little one. Okay, what are we doing? We're gluing some stuff up. We need a toothpick, which I've lost. We need a brass shim, which I've also lost. So, yeah, give me a sec. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. So, this is my glue line, single flow. There, it's flowing. That's that glue line. That's that glue line. Figure gravity's going to bring it down a little bit. We want to be right about there. And we need more glue on top. And then we need a line of glue here. A line of glue here. Shim. Check out the nut. Everything looks and feels good. So yeah, and look, the nut's already starting to stick too. Just from the squeeze out, which is actually a good thing. I'm just going to leave it alone. I think from there, the stability of the structure that I've created, combined with just a little bit of squeeze out glue and the string tension, is going to be enough to hold everything together. No screws required. Where's the cap for this thing? Alright, color it done. Color it done. This isn't going to close up all the way, and it's going to dry out and get thick. The accelerators seem to evaporate first. I've got a bottle that's like as thick as molasses. It takes like almost a day to dry, probably. Okay. Yeah, this is looking good. So that's it for this video. I'm going to let it dry for a bit before I try to trim that off. Else the whole thing probably shatter apart on me or something. Okay, let me end it here, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next part, whatever part we're on next. Where are we at? We got a nut. Trim this stuff off, and we got tuners, and I think it's time to slap a bridge and some strings on this thing and start playing around with some pickups and see if we can figure out something cool. So, yeah, see you all in the next one.